watching Podlandia.
Hi, I'm Carrie.
I'm Fred.
This is AO Rewatch.
It's a Portlandia Rewatch podcast where we just watch our episodes and talk about them, which we've really been enjoying doing.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, we have not gotten to the episode or sketch yet where AO Rewatch comes from.
Yes.
But we will eventually, and it will all make sense.
Yes.
Yes. But for now, we'll just leave it as a mystery, I guess. All right. This is the episode that we call Aimee.
Aimee spelled Aimee for Aimee Mann.
For Aimee Mann.
Was our guest star for the wraparound, the main part of the show.
Yeah, the 3-part sketch.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were and are friends with Aimee. I'm friendly with Aimee.
Yeah.
And one of the first, but certainly not last, musicians to make a guest appearance on our show. But I think, would she be the first one that we've talked about so far in terms of like if we're going in order?
Yeah.
I think this might be the first one.
I would say.
Yeah. And certainly I think, don't quote me on this because it might turn out to be wrong, but she might be the only musical guest star who's in a wraparound, who's in all 3 parts of a wraparound.
Jello Biafra? Was that a wraparound or a one-off?
No, that's a one-off.
Oh.
That's a sketch.
I think you're right.
I mean, I may be proven wrong as we continue down this rewatch podcast, but anyway, certainly one of the first.
And really featured in this, like a main.
Doing some heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like Carrie said, old friend of mine. She's so funny.
So funny.
And her performance, I mean, she's great in this.
Yeah. We'll get to that specific sketch in a second. It does start with a cold open. A character we had just met in episode 2.
Yeah.
Spike, who's the bicycle rights, fixie bike, gauges in the ear, goatee character.
Very, very angry.
Angry.
And he's going around town and he's seeing things that are trends and saying, that's over. As soon as he sees it,
right.
He knows it's over.
Yes. As soon as he sees something becoming popular,
yeah,
he no longer wants to have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those things get more and more esoteric.
And it is kind of an energy piece in its own way.
Yeah.
Just him saying things are over, shell art, and then chin beards.
Chin beards, yes.
And then you see that he's like a normal guy at the end.
Right. Well, at the beginning, he's looking into a bar restaurant and he's sort of identifying that if a certain kind of guy is there, that means this place is over.
Yeah.
And at the end, they sort of swap places. I hear this a lot in this day and age with memes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I live with my 14-year-old stepdaughter, and she assures me that by the time me or her mom know about something, it's over.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I hear it's over a lot. Like, oh yeah, that's long gone. That's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is probably true. Like if the New York Times is writing about something, it's coming. It's coming on.
It should be in the obituary section. Those pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think the impetus, I think where we heard it's over a lot, like in our formative years, meaning sort of college, early days of like playing music, was when a band got too popular.
Yes.
That band is over. That is something I heard all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. And like selling out, what, kind of an arbitrary line, right? Like, I mean, it used to be the smallest infraction could constitute selling out. I mean, you could just even play a 21 and over show.
Yep.
As opposed to an all ages show.
Yep.
You could sign to not just a major label, that was obviously selling out. We're talking about late 80s, early 90s. But even signing to a bigger independent label or an independent label that was partially or fully owned by a major label, that could be selling out.
Venue sizes. There were some places you're like, oh, they're playing there? Oh, forget it.
Yeah. Charging too much for tickets. like anything that sort of reeked of like commercialism, capitalism, that you just even ambition was sort of anathema to the like, ideology of like, punk ideology. It was like, oh, you're ambitious, you're, opportunistic.
It was an infraction.
It was
That
an infraction.
A real
Yeah.
crime.
And there were real consequences. Like you could be sort of banished. You basically became a pariah. Like you could lose friends. Like, it sounds silly to say,
No.
but it was very, very real.
Yeah.
Anything just, like aligning yourself with something that was too materialistic, too corporate.
Commercials, obviously.
Oh, if you
writing music for a commercial or
if you put a
TV
song,
show.
if you put a song in a commercial, that was number one.
Yeah.
But signing to a major label was definitely, if you came from a certain, community, and there are a handful of those communities that, shared that philosophy. Olympia, Chicago, Washington, D.C., San Francisco. I mean, and then there were parts of communities that maybe aspired to be on bigger labels, but then there was like a subsect of those communities that were like absolutely not.
Yep.
And you saw it happen. It's like communities would be torn apart by some bands deciding to go to a major label.
Oh yeah.
I mean, growing up, in Seattle, certainly saw it happen with grunge and Nirvana. And
So you're saying that like it was just something that was just made up by people who wanted to make issue of that kind of thing.
yeah, well, and I mean, you start down anything that's like a purity test, and you're like, okay, you're calling someone a sellout,
Yeah.
but you're smoking a cigarette
Yeah.
that's like, manufactured by a major corporation that's literally harming like millions of people. You're wearing, jeans that are made by a big corporation. You're wearing, like if you start to get into that mindset, you can never be pure enough. You can never win. And it never took into consideration class and how people grew up, and that like, not everyone can just not make money from something.
No.
That those bigger conversations just didn't exist.
It was endless.
Yeah. But it really occupied a lot of time.
Like,
and a discourse.
like long conversations over dinner.
And hand wringing. I mean, really, like people had a hard time making decisions because it felt like a betrayal of your community.
Yeah.
To make a choice that would sort of remove you from provenance, from like, oh, okay, well, I thought we were part of something. I thought we were a collective. It's like, wow.
But no one looked at their own record collections. Like in my record collection, there would be every label.
Yeah.
Independent, major, what's the difference?
Yeah.
It's all there. Bands being over was like, it took up.
Yeah, that's where I feel like for us, it came from, like just that.
Yeah.
And people said it like so with such certainty. Oh, they're over.
Yeah.
Like as if you would never return to enjoying their music again.
Yes.
Anyway.
So that was another. Then is this another one where I wore those prosthetics on my ears and.
Yeah, to have the gauges.
Yeah.
And Spike, I should say, later becomes a character. We pair him with a character of mine named Iris.
Yeah.
And they do become a couple that I think came to embody and be stand-ins for this time in our life.
Yeah.
The time where we were like younger and playing music and like very caught up in some of that, somewhat rudimentary, stifling punk ideology, even though we also were very worshipful of it and it really shaped us. We really kind of kept them locked into that mindset, Spike and Iris.
They do keep waving the flag.
Yeah, they're holding on to it, So it's over. I noticed when I was watching it, I'm like, I'm not in this sketch. I have no idea why. I was like trying. Why. Yeah, I want to go back and look at the calendar. I'm like, why wasn't I in this? Only because later, for sure. I'm not saying that in like a weird egotistical way. It was just that we did so much heavy lifting early on. Like we sort of had to be in all the sketches, and later when we were, sort of needed for our own mental health or schedules, like time off here or there. Sometimes when I started directing, I didn't want to be in as many sketches. But this was like episode 3, so it really was noticeable to me.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, they're like that kind of record keeping. I just feel like that's probably lost.
That is lost.
Wherever that file is.
I was just surprised to see that early on because I remember it changing later and us actually needing like, oh, can we do this sketch without Fred or can we do this without Carrie? Let's get someone else in.
Yeah.
But that just didn't quite exist early on, but apparently it did.
I guess so.
Good job. Great job in this sketch.
Yeah.
I feel like I can objectively tell you. You were awesome.
So now we get to Aimee part 1. Now the story in the sketch, it's that Aimee is the rock star she is, and then she's also our housekeeper. Or you hire her, it's sort of new to us.
House cleaner, yeah.
House cleaner. Based on a real story.
Based on a real story. So if you think that the music industry is, bad now, I mean, it was also like, it's so bad now in terms of like how difficult it is to make money and have a viable career as a musician. It's such a stratified industry of the haves and have-nots. And it was kind of always the case that like, but it's worse now. But back in the, I guess, early 2000s, I was living in Portland and I hired a house cleaner that came, I think, every other week. And one time he's like, I'm going to bring someone else to help me. Great. And he brings over this woman from this band that I was a pretty big fan of, had this band's records, really loved her as a guitar player and songwriter. And it was just this weird, intense, like cognitive dissonance to just, one, be aware that like, of course, like hardly anyone makes a living from music. And two, but I'm also like, oh my gosh, I'm such a fan. And it was very awkward. And I remember when we were casting for the show, it already was an issue in the broader music industry. And like, there were so many people who we admired who legitimately might be like, oh yeah, I'm close to having to do something else besides music anyway. Like this wouldn't even be like funny for me. This is like, I'm already working 2 other jobs. I'm already like, whatever, bussing tables or, working as a bartender at night. Like, I mean, this is all very real stuff. So that was, I remember we had a list of other like people to consider. And we were like, that's cutting it too close.
Oh yeah.
That's cutting it too fine. So like Aimee was the right kind of person because like she would understand that we were really talking about like the economics of the music industry, the economics of trying to be an artist.
Yeah.
Both now and then when we were making it. But she also was doing well enough that it wasn't going to be so like personal for her. She could sort of understand it, but not feel like it was painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's so funny in this. Like her performance is like, she really plays it exactly real. Keeps wanting to get back to her job.
Yeah.
Which I really liked. Also, I was thinking about while I was watching it, I think it's the first that we see this sort of mystery of Fred and Carrie's relationship. Because in that house, they live together. Are they a couple?
It's very ambiguous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way that I like.
Yeah.
It could be anything. But they're definitely like, we're side by side in a way that's not just roommates.
Yes.
There's something very like we're in the same space all the time. The bedroom could even be.
Well, I mean, we end up showing that we share a bedroom. We know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that you don't know.
You don't know. There's an intimacy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're just playing at this intense, ridiculous juxtaposition of like wanting our house cleaned a certain way.
Yeah.
But also wanting to let Aimee know that we're like really cool and know her music.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very painful.
Yeah. That was fun. And
it was really fun. Yeah. And she was great. And she is great.
Yeah.
And she got it. And like, again, I mean, we'll say this many, many times, like, and there's someone else who shows up later in this wraparound.
Yeah.
That it's even more pronounced. But like, I think of Aimee Mann. I mean, she's like a serious, accomplished songwriter, and just here she comes into Portlandia, puts on like this maid's uniform and is just like dusting our house
Yeah.
and, acting. She's a great actor in this and totally willing to just make fun of the precariousness, really, of trying to make art in America, in like a country that really doesn't do much to support its artists.
And she says, because when we do the fan part, she says thank you in a very real way. She's like, oh, thank you. That means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And then the cleaning part, also, she, when we're like, you have to get this, I think it's the stove.
Yes. We're getting really particular about how she should do the stove.
So she's like taking that information in too.
Yeah.
And like she's taking that task seriously.
Yeah. But it's also kind of interesting because I feel like as like a creative person or artist, when you do have fans, like even though fans aren't asking you to like, wash their clothes or like clean the counter, like there is a duality to what is sort of required of you. There's the part that's sort of being asked to be really like bigger than life. And, like maintain the mythology, maintain the mystery, but then also the part of you that is actually being asked to just sort of be like pedestrian and ordinary and normal. And so this is actually sort of like a distillation of that, like we've made it very literal, that sort of contrast that a fan requires. Like do all these really, I want you to be super relatable and normal, but also like larger than life. And I think that's probably tricky for people, to operate on both levels and to not mess up either and not have one sully the other.
Have you ever been forced into a situation where I'll just say like you're confronted with being in a situation with, let's say, fans, people who like the show, for example, or your band. And then you're in a physical situation where at first it's explosive and fun, but then because of the space that you're in, say an airport gate,
Okay.
where it becomes pedestrian because you're forced into like, it's like really exciting at first. It's such a, it's so great to meet you. I was almost gonna say honored, but you know what I mean? People say things. And then all of a sudden, it happened to me like after being in a hotel after breakfast, and I see the same people. Hi, good morning. So it dissipates. So it deflates.
Right.
Where it really does get boring.
Right.
And by the fourth day,
they hate you. They're like, we wish we weren't staying in the same hotel.
They fully ignore, not like we're going to respect his space, but we're like, oh.
They're begging you to ignore them
like
as well,
we're also just trying to have breakfast.
Yeah. That happened to me. This is a slightly different example. I guess this is a more humbling example. So back when Slater Kinney were still playing smaller venues, and we were setting up our own gear or just had like maybe one crew member, but we were, all hands on deck kind of thing. And sometimes, but we would still try to maintain that sort of that distance so that when we got on stage, it felt like, we've just appeared, like here's a moment. But there weren't bathrooms backstage. So before the show, I would go and have to get in line and wait in line with the audience to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that kills that mystery than just, hey, how's it going? Just waiting. And then here's the other thing about that. So now I'm, there's someone before me. Obviously, there's someone after me. I could walk into a stall and it could be covered in piss and shit. But when I leave, it has to be clean.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going in there, like basically cleaning the bathroom so that it doesn't look like I'm the one that left that there.
Yep.
So I'm just like, it has to be, you have to be able to eat off that toilet when I leave.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. And also awkwardly just, the chit chat, the bathroom chit chat, and people, it completely demystifies everything. You're like, wow. Also the longest hand washing I've ever done. Hey, look guys, just washing those hands, just making sure that everyone knows what a great hand washer I am. that I never dribble onto the toilet seat, that I, like it was a whole routine. But you know what? Great. A lot of bathrooms got cleaned that way.
Good.
Yes.
And in fact, to the point of this sketch, you were kind of like a cleaner.
Yeah.
You became like a cleaner in a way.
But that did have that feeling of like, oh, I wanted it to be, just for the sake of the show, to like maintain just like a little bit of distance, so that when I walk out on stage, the person's not like, oh, that's just the woman that just used the toilet next to me.
It also speaks to like the benefit of being in a band. I don't know why I'm picking Motorhead, but if you're in like a biker band, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? Like you could go into like any bathroom.
Just light it on fire.
Light it on fire.
Take a shit on the floor.
Pee on the walls.
Yeah.
Like that's, I wonder if like that's why they got into it. Like, yeah, when we go anywhere, we could totally be ourselves.
Right. I hate to delve into bathroom talk right here, but it reminded me, that to me is my most like humbling version of that.
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's common. All right, that's Aimee part 1.
Coffee Land.
Man, I watched this and I was like, no. This is like one of those sketches where I'm like, I kind of remember the provenance of it. Like I remember who pitched it and what it was. But I would not do this sketch again.
No, in the blur of making it.
Yeah.
It just seems like, sure, we'll just do it. We'll see how it turns out.
Do this. But yeah.
And I remember like also the looking at coffee shops in Portland as a tourist destination.
Yes.
I liked that aspect of it. Like, oh yeah, but that could be something that's, a site that people would go to, a tourist site. But looking back.
Yeah, wouldn't do it. I mean, sometimes you make a show, you make something and you're like, yeah, that was a mistake.
Easy to skip over.
Easy to skip over.
Yeah.
So basically, like we're dressed, I guess like we're like Japanophiles. Like we're dressed in like Harajuku girls.
Yeah.
And the way that they cut it was as if we were like so obsessed with this like world that like we sort of create like a fantasy world where like we get to live inside of it. And we go to these coffee shops and and everything just keeps getting more diminutive.
So the espressos the coffees get smaller and smaller.
The coffee gets smaller.
And we go in line like it's a ride.
Like it's a ride. Yeah. Coffee Land. And then there's this cute boy.
Yeah.
Played by Josh Frank, who is this young actor that returns. I think he actually returns in Dumpster Dive. He returns in this episode and then
over and over
again. And then we go, and then the rest of it's sort of on a green screen for a while. Like we're in an imaginary world, and then it's out. That's basically the sketch.
And we used him a lot because of our budget. People couldn't always have speaking parts. That becomes more expensive.
Yeah.
And his reactions were so good.
Yes.
And dead, and sort of like not reacting.
Yes. And that's a Jonathan Kreisel like thing. He is great. I mean, I think it came from the world of Tim and Eric as well, which is another sketch show, really like absurd, kind of avant-garde sketch show. But they really were great with like background actors and like just finding real people. And that is something we always aim to do with our background.
Yeah.
Was just, I mean, obviously they were all real Portlanders, but just like great faces and people that, it's not like central casting for like, let's get the hottest people, or it's just like, let's get everyday people who make our world vibrant and real. And we use, we do a lot of cutaway shots, reaction shots, which add to the humor. And Josh just had one of those great faces.
Yeah.
And he just sort of always looked either dispassionate, sometimes a little perplexed, but it was great as like almost like to project onto him a reaction, and so I think he was discovered in this one. I don't know if we shot Coffee Land or Dumpster Divers, which is also in this episode first, but either way, it was someone who John Kreisel first really loved, and then we had back. And I can't remember. I think we started noticing that he was someone who was returning over and over again for a non-speaking part. And we did, eventually he speaks. And I think we made kind of a meal of it.
Oh yeah,
But it's
later.
much later.
Yeah.
It's like season 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So
From Coffeeland, there's another Nina and Lance. And
this one, I mean, this might just be the cringe episode for me because like a sex toy to me also, I'm like, it
oh,
doesn't,
that's funny.
it doesn't like, again, now I sound like a prude, but it's like one of those things where I'm like, oh, interesting. Like I know it does, it becomes not about sex toys. It becomes about packaging, which again is one of those very Portlandia things of like, you think the sketch is going to be about one thing, but it's about the other. And I love the other thing it's about. And it's apropos for Nina and Lance to, get a sex toy.
Yeah.
But I think I remember both of us just kind of being like, huh, like could have been anything they ordered. Yeah.
Right.
Like I felt like it didn't need to be sort of sexual, the thing that we were ordering. Yeah.
Because that sound, the sound of like, huh, is exactly how I feel about it. Where it's like, oh, sure. But
I think I just know the things that you and I agree on. Like I know, like our sensibility. Like for instance, when we first came to this set, there were bookends that were shaped like penises.
Yeah.
And we said, no, that's not not. We probably don't need it.
By the way, great art direction.
Great art.
Yeah. It was just an option.
Great penises. Great sculptures.
Yeah. But it's almost like in that zone somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then with the sex toy, definitely. You know what it is? I think the sex toy in it doesn't make us laugh.
Yes.
Or it doesn't make us laugh really. Like, I don't know what would. Anyway, it's a little thing because you only see it, I think, once or something.
Yeah, I think it's just it's a little. I wouldn't even call it an eccentricity. It's just a sensibility that we share that literally has nothing to do with like our feelings or opinions about like sex or intimacy. It's just where it interacts with humor that we just don't find it that interesting.
Yeah,
like it's not, to me, it's not a shorthand for something being funny.
Yeah,
like sex toy or like farts or something. Although we will contradict ourselves when we get into a sketch we have called Fart Patio, which I do think is really funny. But
that was like the exception.
That's the exception.
Yeah.
And it was almost like, well, if we're going to do it, let's just fully do this. But yes, anyway, just for people who are, listening and watching, like Fred and I are longtime friends, and it's not like telepathic or anything how we communicate, but there is something like we just know about each other.
Yeah.
Like, and I when I was rewatching this, I just knew, I'm like, oh, this sketch is going to make you uncomfortable because it's making me uncomfortable. Like there was just so much of that.
Yeah.
Like I can just feel it.
And then on the other hand, we also embrace as soon as you see the huge box with all the bubble wrap.
Then I'm like, yes. Okay. Then I relax.
Even now I feel more relaxed.
Like I've just been holding my breath the whole time we've been talking about this.
Packaging.
Oh, now it's about packaging. Thank God. Also, there's this weird thing where like my character, Lance, like I just am like wanting to get back into the like the bone zone, like I'm just back on this thing and like but what I love the innocence of Nina sometimes, like there is this like beautiful contrast between like she is like girly and innocent, like she just has this real sweetness to her, and like even though you also see her in ways that are much more like adventurous and like provocative, but really it's like she's a romantic ultimately. Yeah. And she basically this sex toy arrives in a package that is not commensurate to his. I mean, it's like this, and then it's inside of like a refrigerator box. Yeah.
Which happens still a lot.
Yes. It's very, very wasteful.
There's a funny thing though. Lance chips away to open everything, I think with like a knife or something. Like he's very aggressively like, just like everything he does has to be like the tough version.
Yeah. But yeah, you like repurpose the like packaging, like the bubble wrap into like a little outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, great upcycling, great recycling there.
I don't know why. This borders on pretentious, but I always think of Nina as Southern California.
Oh, okay.
As
But that's
sort
because
of
it's
like,
the rockabilly thing, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
rockabilly, kind of like Orange County, and then
Yeah.
that she moved up to Portland.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
I feel like Lance would not be from the OC. I feel like he's like almost like San Jose or like
Oh yeah.
even like Stockton or like kind of that like northern like California, but
Yeah.
not the same place. And then he like went down to LA
Yeah.
and then they like met and then moved to Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was Nina's idea, like, we should move to Portland.
Yeah.
Because he'd be like, why?
Yeah.
All right.
He just wants to be with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
I feel like he's always like, fine.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Aimee part 2. Sorry, Aimee part 2. This is where so Aimee Mann washes a sweater.
And she shrinks it. She
Yeah.
puts a wool sweater into the wash.
Yeah.
And we get very mad. So this is when it's like we're really vacillating between like trying to maintain that we're cool and that we're big fans and also just completely admonishing her for not doing things correctly, including potentially stealing an item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she does this. She's, shrinks this sweater, and we're really confronting her about it. Then we do this thing where we rip up a Suzanne Vega poster. And this came from a real story that Petra Hayden, who I'd dated before, who's a singer, a musician, told me about a rep she used to have who showed her a CD of this other Petra, this other singer named Petra, and smashed the cover in front of her to prove like
there's only one Petra.
There's only one Petra. And Petra's reaction was like, don't do that. That doesn't do anything for me. So that's what that came from.
I didn't remember that, but it's really like horrifying to watch us do that. But yeah, also like looking back on it, I was like, oh, this is kind of how, separate from the sketch, but like women were sort of pitted against each other in the music industry at that time. Like there was like
why was that the 1-to-1?
Like a scarcity mindset where you're just like, well, do you like this one or this one? You can only like one. It was like, you were always like, just.
Yeah. Why? Why Suzanne Vega?
Yeah.
And then later a Tori Amos CD.
Yeah. Again, like you're only allowed to have one favorite.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Then it ends with a piñata.
And this is.
And we're smashing it of Sarah McLachlan.
Of Sarah McLachlan.
And it's really great because Aimee kind of says like, that's a friend of mine. Like I know her.
Yeah.
I don't need this. And we're smashing this piñata. And it's a good presentation of the idea, the way we're turning to her. Like it is like psychotic.
Right. And again, when we're talking about these wraparounds, these 3-part wraparounds, we're in part 2, which always means heightening.
Yeah.
And here we are like really in a heightened state of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Bashing a piñata, a Sarah McLachlan shaped piñata. And lo and behold, Sarah McLachlan also works for Fred and Carrie. She is our gardener.
And she's out there pruning trees or whatever.
Yeah, pruning hedges. Aimee goes out because she can't believe it. She's like, it needs a break.
Yeah.
She goes out and there's Sarah McLachlan. And
so happy she was there. Like she was great. But Carrie and I were just talking backstage, whatever it would be, about how surprised we were that she agreed to do it. She seemed like such a star of, just a music person who, how could we even get a hold of someone like that?
Yeah. And again, I mean, this is probably the first example, but we'll talk about it a lot of just like, oh my God, Sarah McLachlan and Aimee, of course, but like revered artists whose work like relies upon people having very like heartfelt, sincere relationships to the songs. Like the songs mean something and that the artist's intentions are serious and earnest, and which is great because that is how they are, and they both write beautiful, incredible songs. But amazing that Sarah was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me come down from Vancouver and poke fun of myself and poke fun at you guys, these idiotic characters, and have fun. And it's a dream. It's a dream to just get to kind of just unpack all this stuff, play in this world where, we get to just explore these, what are essentially really awkward dynamics and the ways that people are unfair and unkind and the way the world, works out for certain people. And it's just like she was just up for all of that. And I think also, again, as someone who is still in the music industry, and I imagine they know just how easy it is to go from doing okay to not doing okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I think, always willing to explore that too.
I also like seeing in the scene when Aimee just first addresses Sarah.
And
I like them in the same space. I'm like, oh, look, people do know each other.
Yeah. And she says, hi, Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that's how that one ends.
Yeah, that's how that one ends.
Part 2, that's how that ends. But yeah, that felt like, for some reason, that getting Sarah McLachlan, that felt to me like the first kind of coup. Like I was like, ooh, we did it. Like,
right, like not a pal who we knew before.
Not a pal. Like this is like someone who's just, and also this was before the show had aired. So she's leap of faith.
Yeah.
Like, and I just love that. Just people being game.
Yeah.
That's half of this, is just that trust. And like, yeah, I'm very grateful and appreciative of, this everyone, but this first season, especially just people willing to kind of just explore this
blindly.
This world with us and be silly. Just really, it is just silliness, I keep sort of adding like my own sort of thoughts to it as I rewatch. Obviously that's part of what we're doing, but when you just get rid of all that, like it's just a lot of silliness and a lot of fun.
You gotta get out of it. You gotta get out of there.
You gotta get out of there. Kind of an energy piece, I guess. This is the energy piece against that like quick, kind of percussive cadence. Like the editing gets really sped up.
Yeah.
Kind of like quick cuts.
A version of like, did you read in a way or?
Yeah.
I wonder who came up with this. I feel like.
I think it's Allison.
I think you're right. Yeah, like,
Allison
or someone was
Silver.
talking about someone saying that on the phone. You gotta get out of there.
Right.
And I think these characters, I don't know if we did them again.
Never did them again.
But they might have had names. And then it's just saying over and over, you got to get out of there. And we're just in this food where these
food carts.
Food carts are.
Food cart pod, yeah. And we're sort of on
which is very Portland.
Picnic table, yeah. I think this is another one of those things that we continue to do. And I mean, not just with words, so not just linguistically, but also thematically. We like to take something and just do it until it just all the meaning is like warped and like deconstructed and like absurd. It's just like say something over and over again or just like go down one track until you're just like, oh my God, you kept going and then you went further. Like that's a very, I feel like Fred and Carrie, very Portlandia thing to do. And this is like a very, I guess like just tight example of that, right? Like it's just it's very sort of like pointed example of that with just one expression where we're like, we're just going to keep saying it until it almost has no meaning anymore.
Yeah. And the trust that it'll.
Yeah.
Just shooting it is like, that's a lot of trust.
Yeah. And also like to me, sort of the interesting part of it is just like the audience creates the story. It's like, you're just a few words and you're like, who's you?
Right.
Get out of where. Like, it's just like, that's what's sort of fun. It's like playing with people's expectations, playing with people's imaginations.
Of what could be on the other end.
Yeah. And then it's literally a man in a river.
And that's Jedediah.
Yeah. Who shows up so much.
A real Portland figure. He, over the years, has had various businesses that are just, I would say, just the word special might not be the right, just like scavenger hunts. Contests. But I think we used him also in the art, like some of the key art or whatever in the sort of poster. Like he sort of symbolized a version of Portland. I think so. I only know him as Jedediah, but okay, that must be it.
So acres or acre?
Singular or plural? No S.
Aker. Okay.
Not that it would be plural, but you know what I mean. Jedediah Aker. And yeah, he ended up being in a lot of the key art and campaigns, ad campaigns and stuff.
Yeah, he shows up in many, many episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this, first season, first couple episodes, it's like we didn't know that these would be people who we would like collaborate with for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
And that's crew included.
Yep.
And I remember when we wrap season 8 and looking around, and we even did a photo of all the people who had still been there since season 1.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
there
right.
were quite a few of us.
Yeah.
But that included a lot of these local guest stars with speaking or non-speaking roles who really helped create the world of the show. But yeah, this is a time where we really just had no idea
No.
what was coming next. But yeah, he's a great example of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we didn't have any idea, but there was still like I don't know what to call it. There's like a version of optimism, because I remember the feeling of not like, well, who knows when we'll get to do this again. I felt at the time like, hey, this is pretty cool. I
Energized.
hope it keeps going, something like that. Now this next sketch, Strippers. Another one that was okay. What was weird when I was watching it is that I thought, oh, this could be an SNL sketch, or it might have even worked on SNL in a way.
You know what? There's this one, and there's one coming up in a later episode from season 1 that to me also feels SNL. And I think there were times in season 1 where there was still like we were still in conversation with SNL via you, and just that idea that like, oh, like as if a sketch, like we hadn't necessarily figured out the point of view like completely. Like we were really close.
Yeah.
Like we were talking the other day, like season 2 is to me where it really coalesces. I'm like, this is what we want the show to be. And you see glimpses of it in season 1 for sure. And we've talked about some of those sketches and we'll continue to. And then, some of the others feel like, like this just doesn't, it just doesn't feel like it has the Portlandia sensibility that like we really, where we were sort of firing on all cylinders and like coming through the lens that we really wanted to create from. This feels like one of those where it's like the characters, I'm like, I don't know who the characters are. Yeah, it feels like it feels very ephemeral in this way.
Yeah.
Like there's no take on it.
No.
Right? Yeah, like that's just.
But I guess it breezes by fast enough that it doesn't bother me. I don't know. It just comes and goes.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay I think it's okay to be, I mean, I don't know. It's okay to be bothered, I guess. And it's just like, it's like that's what like process is, right? Like, there's going to be things that we're like, okay, that didn't work. That's like, that wouldn't do that. Yeah. I think that's part of the interesting part of this exploration,
Yeah.
And I feel lucky that so far I'm like, okay, a lot of this is working, feels good to me.
Right.
But it's inevitable that some things just won't.
Yeah.
And we'll have to sit with the discomfort. We'll have to sit with it.
It'd be fun to blame somebody. I wish we could just say like, they forced us to make this sketch.
Yes. I remember.
Over at IFC, and they wrote it.
This is the one sketch IFC wrote.
They wrote it, and the strip club was sponsoring it, and they paid for it, and we had to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, they were our sponsors this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, before Subaru, it was
the strip club.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. It's like this is just like, as we go back, I mean, I would be like, it's same with when I think back to like Slater Kinney albums or songs or things I've written, outside of sketch. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, I wouldn't have done that now.
Right.
Or like I can hear something in a song that I feel like could have been improved upon. I feel like that's okay. Like, always room for improvement. Which gets us to dumpster divers.
Which I feel the opposite. I feel like that's we were really trying to like,
Yes. Slash, I also wrote freegans, which was such a like,
yeah,
remember, like, I don't know if people are familiar with the term freegan. It was like you were vegan unless it was free,
yeah.
and then you would eat anything. That was
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
legitimate group of people
oh yes,
in our community that was
oh
just
yeah,
like hardcore vegan. If it's a free steak, I'll take
yeah,
it. Yeah. Um, yeah. Lots of, there's always room to, do something else if
yeah.
you're not paying for it.
I remember when we were telling Ashby about this sketch.
Mhm.
I think we were shooting something with Ashby, and then we were like, okay, we're gonna go shoot this thing where we play dumpster divers. And for anyone listening, dumpster diver is kind of like, it's not homeless
Mm-mm.
or the unhoused. It is people who they're sort of like people who's like look through dumpsters for things that are still useful.
Yeah. Gleaners. Yeah. There's a bit of like wanting to, not be wasteful,
Yeah.
and also just people who I think enjoy like finding like sort of treasure hunting.
Yeah.
Although sometimes just looking for like, oh my God, can you believe that like this grocery store, and this is true, like
Yes.
throwing out bread that's perfectly good. Like,
Yeah.
there's like so much waste that of course it makes sense. Like if you are willing to like go through a dumpster of trash, like you can find literally great stuff, including edible stuff. So,
Yeah.
but it becomes sort of like a lifestyle and can then start to veer towards, being pretty self-righteous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
definitely.
why would you buy
Yeah.
this when you could just get it for free?
Yeah.
When, like most people are like, it's okay, I'll go purchase eggs. Like if, because it's, again, these are people that could technically afford it, but there's a thrill,
Yeah.
in stumbling upon it.
Oh, we should have done an egg joke in it of cracking an egg that is like so clearly went bad, but still trying to fry it up.
But the thing is, you already like I was gagging.
You were gagging, and some of it is filmed.
Yes.
You have a real gag in there.
Yes.
Yeah. It was pretty gross because we were mixing foods together.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to me when we're writing it that could happen, that there will be a smell of mixing soups with no refrigeration or heat. It was just, we're just in some room.
Yeah.
And when you pour soup in,
it was getting really gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Side note, when I was in this band in the 90s, Trenchmouth, we played in Berlin at a squat. And there was no heating, there were no light, no electricity. So they had kerosene torches.
This is dangerous.
Dangerous, and you could smell it, and generators for when we played. But then they also had like a quote unquote feast for us.
Oh, I've played in a squat too.
And I don't know why it didn't occur to me, because it was so bountiful, but suspiciously.
Yes.
Like, why is there so much food? And then as we were going, like, oh, they found all this stuff.
Yeah.
So go ahead, you could eat this. And, they're very casual about it.
A lot of lentils. Yeah.
Oh my God, the lentil situation. The amount of stews.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I've been in that situation. When I dabbled in a little dumpster diving when I was in college for cassettes. We found a company out in the suburb that were throwing out cassette tapes.
Yeah.
And because I think they were, there was a lot of companies and businesses that would record whatever tutorials or instruction manuals or whatever, ship them out. And they, for some reason, a lot of them were garbage. Like they just didn't use all these tapes. And, there were a bunch of musicians in Olympia, myself being one of them. And when we would sell cassette, tapes. And so when we were making our own, before we had a label and we would just record ourselves, we would then transfer our music onto these, dumpster dived tapes and make artwork for them and sell them.
Did it work though?
Yeah. It was great.
So that's like positive dumpster diving.
Yeah. But there's also a callback to that tiny sweater that Aimee Mann shrinks.
Yes, they find it.
They find it because ostensibly Fred and Carrie throw it out,
Yeah.
and your character finds it and you put it on. And I
Yeah.
remember people crying with laughter as you got that on
Yeah.
because it was ridiculous.
Because it was really tiny.
Yeah.
I still have that sweater because Amanda Needham, our costumer, framed it
Oh, wow.
and
You never
gave
wear
as
it.
I should wear the frame. I almost brought it today and I'd have to go to the office.
Oh,
And
that's fine.
then I thought if I came in here with it, it would actually not be that thrilling, and that it's a framed thing in glass and I'd be like tilting it to the camera and then the moment would be like a dead moment. Like, whoa, there it is. Yeah, that's it. So I say, so you can thank me for,
Thank you.
yeah.
The other thing that I want to bring up is that sweater, both in the Aimee Mann wraparound and in Dumpster Divers, was not in the script. This is a
Oh,
case of our props department.
yeah.
This is a case of our props department just having something on hand that we decided to use that became like a focal point
Yeah.
of the sketch. And our very crafty art department was always like going deep on like the comedy and the details and the specificity and just finding unique items for us to play with because they knew so much of it was improvised. They wanted to give us like a lot of material, so we could do prop work and things felt very real and
Yeah.
that we could move through the space and have it feel very like alive and tactile. And often a prop would become part of the story. And this was definitely a case of that.
Oh, yeah. So there are some Easter eggs in this, which, by the way, I think we didn't continue doing that throughout the seasons. I think we
I
did it only in the first couple, and after a while, we kind of.
I don't know. I'm just saying, let's put a pin in that. We'll find out.
Okay.
I think you might be right, but I always felt like the intention was to again just create a through line of this world that you might see something from one character's world in another character's world.
Sure.
You might be right.
No, yeah,
we'll
but-
find out. But certainly here we're doing it.
Definitely. And so the other items in the dumpster are the box of packaging from Nina and Lance
hmm
and the Sarah McLachlan pinata.
Yes, and you will also, in the Nina and Lance sketch, Nina takes a picture of herself in the bubble wrap costume that shows up in a later episode when Lance joins Facebook.
Oh.
So, yep, there's a lot.
And then Josh Frank is in this.
And Josh Frank is in it.
The
He's our little friend.
He's our little friend.
He is.
Yep.
Yeah, he has to eat that meal with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was fun shooting that. Even though there was like some gag stuff, just
And when
having-
you say
having-
gag, you don't mean like we were gagging. Like it was so funny. Like I was
like you were
literally
like,
almost throwing up.
but the feast part when we're eating, I remember that being like enjoyable and that like we were trying to make, I think like small talk.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to talk to him like it's a regular dinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're just eating this really rotten food,
Rotten food.
like hard bread.
Yes. That is one of your best bits is you trying to bite into that bread. It's insane.
But you've experienced that, that like sometimes you're like,
Yes.
why did I start eating this bread? But now I have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
It's very awkward
Yes.
if you're with people you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? We went out to dinner last night and I felt that a little bit with the bread. It wasn't hard, but it was big,
And spongy
spongy.
and oily and sort of
Yes.
like.
And I actually thought like I need a private moment.
Yeah.
I wish there was like a little modesty panel. I know that's what a napkin is, but I wish there was like a more official kind of modesty panel that you could just like put up and just finish eating and then it would just come back down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With some seafoods, I think with shrimp, that would be helpful.
Yes. I actually found the broccolini
Yeah.
also a little bit like
You really got to cut it
cumbersome.
down.
Yeah. Yeah. there was a lot of moments I just needed like a little screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
The dinner, by the way, this is the kind of places we eat at. $8,000 for 2 people. That's how we live. Like our life. We're doing this now and we're pretending like we're normal people, but we have a very exclusive, specialized, curated life.
Put it out there.
You know.
Yeah, manifest it, Fred.
So this ends with that, and then
Aimee part 3.
and this is
Oh God.
really
Now we want her to play we're just craving. We're just
Yeah.
Now we want her to play a concert. She's cleaned her house. We're still fans.
plays a show, and then she leaves, and we do an encore that goes on. Like the encore, she leaves the house,
She drives away.
drives
She
away.
goes home.
Yep, and we're still
She's brushing her teeth.
one more song.
Yeah.
And the music, I actually don't know how we got it, but it's a song that has lyrics that's saying that's about an encore.
Yeah. Well, that's that weird music library that we really discovered during the show.
That was from the library?
That sound-alike library. And
wow. Because it says like one more song.
I hear it all the time. You know where I hear that? I mean, we really use it because essentially, it's very expensive to buy the rights to a song. So there's all these what are called sound-alikes. So it's like you can just like, oh, I need a song that sounds like Imagine Dragons, or I need a song that sounds like Pearl Jam, which we definitely did.
Yeah.
Or, I need a song that sounds like whatever, Joni Mitchell. They have it. And they're a lot cheaper, a lot more affordable. But where I hear it a lot is in reality shows. I don't watch a lot of reality TV, but they use this all the time. Like I was watching that show Traders, and they use, and you're like, oh, is that? And you're like, no, that's not that.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes you can tell they do the search by lyrics. Like if something's happening, like fire, and they'll like type in and like, ooh, there's a good song. Anyway, we use this library a lot on this show.
I thought someone wrote it for the show, but great. Yeah, so that's going on, and then she goes home, is brushing her teeth, and we call, and we're like,
clapping.
yeah, we're still clapping.
Aimee.
So she comes back and she plays one more song, and then Sarah McLachlan's there.
Sarah McLachlan's
there. Yeah. So there's like it's like a sort of ominous, fun kind of ending.
Yeah. I like the rapper. This is one of those episodes like I'm fond of it because of the Aimee stuff, and then there's all this stuff that made us completely uncomfortable. So how does that net out?
How does it net like
out like just emotionally?
I feel comfortable in the discomfort of it.
Me too.
That's right. Like the things that are awkward in it are almost kind of real. I just feel like we would act that way around certain artists.
Oh, like with Aimee, yeah.
You know? There's another emotional thing that I felt. It was nostalgic for that time. Yeah. And this is something that's not specific to Portland of that time. It's specific to Portland always. Which is when Aimee's pulling away. She drives away, and the car behind her has its back facing the camera and is up on a curb, and I could tell that's a real car as opposed to like something
a picture car or something. Yeah.
And the tire is up on the curb a little bit, and Portland has this specific thing where people kind of park cars against each other, facing each other. There's a sort of unwritten, it's okay to park right up into the corner and also to like not be in the same direction. And it made me like, oh, I miss seeing that more.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I wish people would get their shit together in terms of parking.
Yeah. I hear you.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening.
You're welcome.
And watching.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. One more podcast.
One more podcast.
One more episode.
One more episode. We're going to get to that soon.
That's right.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.